What's up, everyone? Today, we are going to talk about competing side hustles in 2025. Which one of these is going to make you more money? The first option is social media marketing for local businesses, and the second option is driving Uber or doing Uber Eats. Let's see which one of these options can potentially make you $3,000 a month. So, in order to make this video as helpful as possible, I want to break it down into 4 different categories that will help you figure out which side hustle is best for you. These categories are startup costs, time commitment, technical skills required, and lastly, earning potential. Let's start with startup costs. For social media marketing, you have 2 options here. You can either do this yourself or pay someone else to do it for you. If you are paying someone else to handle your social media accounts, then you are going to have to pay them a monthly retainer anywhere from $500 to $2,000 per month. This is assuming that you are working with an agency and not an individual freelancer. You can expect to pay anywhere from $25 to $100 per post if you are hiring an individual. So, if you are using an agency, this side hustle could cost you anywhere from $500 to $2,000 per month. But if you are doing this by yourself, then there is no startup cost associated with this side hustle other than your time. For driving Uber or Uber Eats, you also have 2 options here. If you are using your own vehicle, then you will be responsible for all maintenance costs, gas, insurance, etc. And if you lease a car through Uber, then they will cover all those expenses, but you will need to meet their requirements. Here is a list of the requirements for leasing an Uber vehicle. Your vehicle must be a 4-door vehicle, and it must be less than 8 years old. It must have a good condition with no major dents or scratches. The vehicle must pass a vehicle inspection. You must have a valid driver's license and insurance. The last requirement is that you must complete an online application. If your vehicle meets all the requirements, you should hear back from Uber within 72 hours. There are no upfront costs associated with this side hustle, but you will need to have a vehicle that meets their requirements. The next category is the time commitment for each side hustle. With social media marketing, it takes a lot of time to build an audience and even more time to start generating leads and sales for clients. This means that you might not see any revenue from this side hustle for at least 6 months. During these 6 months, you will be spending a significant amount of time learning the skills required to run a successful social media marketing business. If you decide to do this side hustle part-time, then it could take you up to a year before you start seeing any revenue. And if you decide to do it full-time, then it could take you around 3 to 6 months. Driving Uber or doing Uber Eats does not require any special skills, and you can start making money right away. However, just like with any other side hustle, it will take some time to learn the routes and become familiar with the area. This means that you might not make as much money as someone who has been doing this side hustle for a while. But nevertheless, you can start making money right away. Now, let's move on to the technical skills required for each side hustle. Social media marketing is a very technical skill, and you will need to learn how to use various social media platforms, how to create content, how to run ads, and most importantly, how to generate leads and sales for clients. If you don't have any experience with social media marketing, then it's going to take you a lot of time to learn all the skills required to run a successful business. There are many courses available online that can teach you everything you need to know about social media marketing. So make sure you take the time to learn as much as possible before starting your business. To drive Uber or do Uber Eats, you don't need any technical skills. All you need is a valid driver's license and a clean driving record. Now, let's talk about the most important category, earning potential. With social media marketing, you can charge anywhere from $500 to $2,000 per month per client. This means that if you only have 5 clients, you could be making $10,000 per month. However, it's going to take you a lot of time to find these clients, and you may not see any revenue for at least 6 months. Also, You will need to spend a lot of time learning the skills required to run a successful social media marketing business. If you're willing to put in the time and effort, then this side hustle could potentially make you a lot of money. Driving Uber or doing Uber Eats is a great way to make some extra money on the side. However, you will need to drive a lot of hours to make $3,000 per month. According to ZipRecruiter, the average Uber driver makes $15.69 per hour in the United States. This was based on 11,000 data points collected over the past 12 months. Keep in mind that this is just an average and your actual earnings will depend on a variety of factors, including the city you drive in, the number of hours you drive, and your driving efficiency. With all that being said, here's how much you would need to drive in order to make $3,000 per month. Another thing to consider is that you will need to set aside some time for taxes. According to the IRS, you are considered a self-employed individual if you are an independent contractor, sole proprietor, partner, LLC member, or shareholder. As a self-employed individual, you are responsible for paying both the employer and employee portion of Social Security and Medicare taxes. This means that you will need to set aside around 15.3% of your earnings for taxes. When it comes to Uber versus social media marketing, which side hustle is better? To answer this question, I need to ask you a few questions. How much time are you willing to invest into this side hustle? Are you willing to spend the next 6 months learning the skills required to run a successful social media marketing business? How much money are you hoping to make with this side hustle? And what are your long-term goals for this side hustle? Do you see yourself growing this into a full-time business? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then social media marketing might be the right side hustle for you. On the other hand, if you're looking for a side hustle that you can start right away and that does not require any special skills, then driving Uber or doing Uber Eats might be the right side hustle for you. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to comment below and let me know what side hustle you think is better. If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another video. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one.